one.
Hey everybody, this is Ian, and we're back with the Hive upload for week 2. The reason as to why there wasn't a Hive upload for week 1 is because the person that records my video, Matt, he's here with me. Um,
Hi.
Matt, me and him were both busy last week, and we had hectic schedules around the time where the battle took place, and I was sick. I was with family. It was just kind of an overall bad time to record. So we decided to skip over last week. We did L. We started off the season 0-1. We lost to Harry Nin 2-0. Was unfortunate, but we're gonna look to get past it. And week 2 we face Bronsen, who is a division rival, and he's got a scary team. He definitely has a scary team. Like, if Harry was ranked number 1 in the power ranking for our league, like he had was ranked the best team in the league, and Bronson is definitely up there as well. His team consists of Manaphy, Garchomp, Togekiss, Alolan Muck, Metagross, Mega Pidgeot, Silvally, which is a Z status user, so it can use Z parting shot, and it can be any type. Matt doesn't think that's a good idea. Ditto, Bell.
You cut out right there. Ditto, Torkoal, Victory Bell.
Ditto, Torkoal, Victory. Sorry. But, I'd like to think we have a team that can deal decently well with his threats. The Manaphy is always really scary. Garchomp is really scary as a setup sweeper. Scarfer. Torkoal Victory Bell, the Sun combo. I wasn't exactly 100% sure it's gonna bring it, but Torkoal Victory Bell with the Grass Point fire coverage in Weather Ball, Sludge Bomb, Giga Drain. It's really hard to swap into if it sets up. Sorry about that. So, and of course Mega Pidgeot with the Bird Hurricane spam, which my team doesn't exactly appreciate. But I'd like to think we did pretty well in prepping for this match and designing a team that can beat this. So,
Well, I mean, I didn't help. I didn't help prep this week, so you obviously did better.
yeah. Hey, you came in and hopped in at the end, gave your thoughts, helped me out a bit.
Yes,
I can't take.
I'm the carry.
You're the carry.
Yep.
So, to start off, we have Agility, Nasty Plot, Double Dance, Thunder, with Thunderbolt, Hidden Power, Ice. Just those 2 coverage moves. If I set up with a Nasty Plot in Agility, I might not even need an Agility if I get rid of Garchomp, because I believe that aside from Mega Pidgeot is the fastest thing in the team. So the only 2 things that outspeed me are Mega Pidgeot, which cannot 2-hit KO me with one of its moves. Heat Wave, I believe, does have a kill me, but he would need 2 max rolls. Unless he's modest, in which case it does kill me with 2, as long as he gets 2 not low rolls. But Thunderbolt, Hidden Power, Ice. Thunderbolt, Hidden Power, Ice. Destroy the entirety of his team if I set up. And once I get a Nasty Plot up, the Electrium Z that is on my Thunderous Therian allows me to Oko and Assault Vest Alolan Muck. Granted, it's not Max Videf Assault Vest. And the same goes for Assault Vest Metagross. Those are the 2 things that I just absolutely obliterate at +2.
Yeah.
So, Thunderous, it's a really big win con. Then we got Scarf Medicham, High Jump Kick, Ice Punch, Toxic, Baton Pass. He doesn't really have any good swap-ins to Medicham, aside from Cuffagrigus, and that's why we have Toxic and Baton Pass. If we get a Toxic off on it, then it's very easy to deal with. Well, not easy, but it's easier to deal with. And then every other time we have Medicham and click Baton Pass until the Cuffagrigus is dead, then we just spam High Jump Kick. His only other thing that you could swap into would be the Togekiss, which is why we have Ice Punch. And yeah, that's Scarf Medicham. It's a really good revenge killer. Outspeeds everything on the team with the Scarf.
Everything that's not Scarf. And also, Medicham coming 2 weeks in a row. So, yeah.
Yeah. Nakamura his way to the main roster.
Yeah, make his way to the main roster.
So next we got Melina the Primarina. AV this week. She should have came last week. She didn't. You wouldn't know that. Upload last, but she didn't. So, Moonblast, Ice Beam, Shadow Ball.
Oh my God! Who the hell cares?
So we got Moonblast, Ice Beam, Shadow Ball, Scald. This allows us to hit everything on his coverage. He doesn't really have any good swap into the things that Primarina can provide. Shadow Ball, 2 a KO and non-AV gross. Just really good at taking hits. Helps give us a safe-ish swap into mana. Take a +3 energy ball. It's just a nice Pokemon to have. Then we got Roman Reigns, Heelicky, Max Spadef, Thunder Punch and Earth with Witch Protect, Thunder Punch, Earthquake. Earthquake allows us to hit Metagross and Alolan Muck. Thunder Punch allows us to hit Mega Pidgeot and Togekiss for consistent damage, as well as Manaphy. Because if he brings Manaphy, if it's Tail Glow, it'll probably be it would either be sub Tail Glow or Tail Glow with a Wakan Berry so that it doesn't get revenge killed by Thundurus. Because if he doesn't bring either of those sets, Thundurus just comes in after an Oko set and takes it out. So we would need to bring one of those two or a Calm Mind Rest set with Rain potentially. So Licky's just useful for popping the Wakan Berry on Manaphy and being a instant swap into Mega Pidgeot because it doesn't get 3 KO'd. He only gets 3 KO'd. He doesn't get 2 KO'd. And with Own Tempo, we're getting confused. And we're bringing Volibye this week. Neville the Volibye. Foul Play, Toxic Roost, Fog. Just utility mon. It's a good swap into Garchomp and Metagross. It can potentially take 2 Dragon Claws even after a even if Garchomp sets up an S. And it can take 2 hits from any banded variation of those two. It can potentially even take a +2 Devastating Drake, depending on the roll, if that's what Brinsen decides to run. So it's really good for getting in those physical threats, making sure rocks stay off the field, and getting Toxics off on things like Koffing. And then we got Focus Sash, Nido. This is our lead. Focus Sash, Stealth Rock, Ice Beam, Earth Power, and Thunderbolt. Thunderbolt for damage on mana if he decides to lead with that and tries to set up for some reason. Ice Beam, because if he leads Spark.
Wait. What's the set?
Earth Power, Ice Beam, Stealth Rock, Thunderbolt with a Focus Sash.
Okay, you said Thunderbolt and Sludge Wave.
Oh, I'm sorry. We did have Sludge Wave, but we swapped it out for Thunderbolt.
Yeah.
We swapped it out for Thunderbolt so that we can almost guarantee a KO on Manaphy or again pop the Wakanda. So, this allows me to get up rocks. Good lead because if you Garchomp, 9 times out of 10 all Ice Beam kill the Garchomp outright. And everything on his team that doesn't get hit by Ice by Bolt Beam gets destroyed by Earth Power. So that's the team going into this match versus Brinsen, and let's see how it goes.
Just going to directly transition over to the replay.
All right. Well, forgot the replay.
Nope. This one? No.
When Matt ever.
There we go.
You got it, Matt?
Yeah.
All right. Well, here's the battle. See our team, and he brought the Garchomp. He brought Garchomp, Metagross, Mega Pidgeot, Koffing, and the Suncor, Torkoal, and Victory Bell. I was honestly kind of hoping we didn't see Victory Bell because I didn't want to deal with it because my team really doesn't deal too well with Victory Bell, especially if it sets up. But, so, honestly, Victory Bell could be one of the bigger threats to this team if the sun is up, especially if it gets up a growth. If it gets up a growth, and it's like maybe Z move, it can OHKO Licky Licky with something like an Acid Downpour. But then he'd need to predict that I don't protect on him, all that good stuff. So when I thought of leads, like we said, dedicated lead, it's going to be our Nidoking. So let's start up the replay. So we lead with Nidoking and pause it. So we swap out. I know I said that Nidoking was our dedicated lead, and if he led Garchomp, we were just going to click Ice Beam and OHKO that. The reason why I didn't is because when I saw Victory Bell, I realized I wanted to keep Sash intact. Because I wanted to be able to come in with Nidoking if that sets up a growth. I wanted to keep the Sash as a sort of safety button to make sure that we didn't get swept by that thing, just in case. I just wanted the Focus Sash as an emergency button in case the Victory Bell set up. Ice Beam would just decimate that thing. So we're going to continue. We swap into Volibeye, which can eat any hit from the Garchomp, absorb the Earthquake. He goes into Cofagrigus. We get a Toxic off on that thing because his swap-ins to Toxic are Metagross and Victory Bell. I don't think he's going to go Victory Bell because why would you go Victory Bell if not in the sun? It's not going to do too much yet. He's going to wait until the sun's up to send that thing in. So he goes Cofagrigus. We go into our AV Primarina because it's going to take nothing, and we dodge a Toxic. That's really nice for our longevity, and very fortunate for us. So, turn, we are going to just fire off a Moonblast. He doesn't have too many good things to swap into it. Torkoal's going to take damage, Victory Bell's going to take damage, Meta will take damage, all that stuff. We go into Volibeye on the Metagross to absorb any hit. And he reveals to be Rock's Metagross, which is good because we find out what his rocker is, and I can just go for the defog to make sure Rock stay off our side. He goes Pidgeot just to get his Mega up, so we go Licky Licky, absorb the Hurricane.
Watch this.
Watching. We go Wish.
30. It took only 33% from a Hurricane from a Mega Pidgeot.
Yeah, Licky Licky is a beast. Like, don't sleep on that thing. So.
Or he'll sleep on you.
So, swaps out. He goes into Cofagrigus. I'm not entirely sure why. Maybe he probably just attempting to get a status on this thing. He did reveal Toxic, so he probably just wanted to Toxic this thing. I throw up a Wish. Here I go into Nidoking because it's a very riskless play. If he goes for Toxic, I absorb it. If he goes for Shadow Ball, Sash won't be broken because I'll just immediately get the Wish and go right back up to full. So my Sash will still be intact. And here I could go for Rocks or I could pull a double. And as you'll see, I do decide to pull a double. I go into Melina the Primarina on his Garchomp. And this is really nice because this allows me to just fire off another Moonblast, get off some really good damage. And then he goes for SD. And he reveals to be Focus Sash. And now we got a +2 Garchomp on. And pause this.
Yeah.
Because here was a big 50-50. Obviously, the obvious swap in here, go into Volibeye. To absorb the Earthquake, I can take a Dragon Claw. I can even take an Outrage from +2. Garchomp. But here's the thing. Depending on rolls, I could potentially get to a KO'd by Dragon Claw if he gets 2 high rolls. Or if he's Adamant. I don't necessarily want to take that risk because if he goes for Dragon Claw predicting my Volibeye, I could potentially get to a KO'd and then lose it, which means it would be a lot easier for him to keep Rocks up, and my swap-ins to Mons like Garchomp and Metagross is now just gone. On the same token, he could just go for Earthquake. So I sat there for a minute or two thinking about what to do, and resume. We do decide to go into Volibeye, and he does decide to just go for the Earthquake, which is really nice because now we can just fire off a Foul, take out the Garchomp, and the SD Garchomp is gone. Really nice for our team. Really nice to get that big threat out of the way. That was honestly very nice for my nerves. Gave me a bit of confidence. He goes back at the Pidgeot. We just pull the switch back into Licky Licky. And like I said, we can't get confused, so we can just stay in here and continue to eat Hurricanes. Go for Wish. Wish Protect back up to a decent amount of HP. And this exchange is just going to be us staying in on Pidgeot. And here I was actually thinking maybe Wish passing, but he gets a crit.
Well,
So we need to protect to get ourselves back up to a good HP, because again, this is our best swap into this thing. We don't want it weakened. So I throw up another Wish, and we get crit again. Meaning I need to just stay in and Wish Protect. At this point, I'm just going to continue to stay in and spam Wish Protect. Because I need Licky Licky to stay healthy. I want it to stay healthy so that we can continue to come in and take 2 Hurricanes, take a Pidgeot to 1v1 it. He pulls a swap into Torkoal. Our Licky Licky is at full HP. It's really nice. We pulled a swap into Melina the Primarina. He goes for an overheat with his Torkoal as we pulled a swap. And then predicting the Metagross to come in, we go for Shadow Ball. Matt, please. But yeah, we get like over half damage on that Metagross. Really nice. He goes for rocks as we swap back into our Vullaby. I figured either he's going to attack and to a KO our Vullaby, or he's going to go for rocks. We can take a single hit from Metagross, and then we can roost up, go for defog, whatever we decide to do. We do decide to go for roost. He goes back into Torkoal. And we're going to defog to get the rocks off the field. He goes for Toxic. I mean, at this point, Metagross is weakened. Garchomp is dead. Vullaby did the job, and Cofagrigus is poisoned. Vullaby did the job it needed. It did its job. It swapped in, made sure they didn't do too much damage to our team. We go for Toxic. In case he decided to stay in with Torkoal. Like, really... I was thinking about foul playing, but it wouldn't have done too much to victory that way. So there wasn't really a reason not to go for Toxic. He goes for the growth, and here I go for Roost. I don't try to pull any doubles. I just go for Roost. Vullaby is the most expendable member, though, at this point. So in case he wanted to Sludge Bomb, I was pretty sure I could live 1 and then Roost off to try to stall out the Sun turns. Growth, meaning... we need to sack here, so Vullaby does go down. We don't have anything that wants to swap into a Sludge Bomb at +2. So we go into Nido King. Sash is intact. Kept our safety button. We outspeed this thing. We can just go for Ice Beam and 2-hit KO the incoming Metagross. So that's really nice. We get rid of Metagross. He goes into Kofag. And here I set up rocks. He goes for Calm Mind. This is where my panic button kind of set in, because Cofagrigus setting up Calm Mind is dangerous. It is a big threat, because it can kind of stall out a lot of the rest of our team. But he is toxic. He's already shown Shadow Ball, Toxic, and now Calm Mind. Meaning he either has Pain Split, or he has Rest, but no Sleep. So... this means that we can go into Melina the Primarina and stage his set. Because we can continue to stay in with Primarina. We can 1v1 that thing because of our AV. He's not going to be doing much to us with Shadow Ball. And we can continue to Shadow Ball him. Potentially get things like Spadef drops. And it's not going to be that much of a threat.
One second, I'll just cut this out.
Alright.
Yeah, my dog's barking.
Alright. Tell me when you're ready to continue.
She should be done barking now. Okay.
All right, we good to continue?
Yeah.
I talked a bit while you were gone, so.
Yeah, I'll keep that part in.
All right. So what we do is we do decide to go into Malik Arena after his calm mind, because we can 1v1 it with the Assault Vest, like I said, and he does get a Spadef drop. We can still take another Shadow Ball and consistently damage this thing with the Toxic. It's gonna get worn down, and then we do a good decent chunk, and he does go for rest. So this is really good, actually. That he went for rest, and he's only at +1, and he doesn't have Sleep Talk, meaning here we can pull the switch into our Thunderous, set up a nasty plot in front of this thing, and now we can go for the Z Thunderbolt, the Gigavolt Havoc, and do a shit ton to this thing. Put it down to a point where it can no longer take us on. And even if he decides to pull a rest here for some reason, like seeing what we want to do, then he'll just be asleep for 2 more turns and we can continue to set up on him. So he needs to attack us here. And it's going to do a little over half. He gets a Spadef drop. That Spadef drop is kind of unfortunate because I could have potentially lived a Heat Wave or a Hurricane from Mega Pidgeot once I kill this, and then I could just go for Agility and win from there. So that is decently because that really is unfortunate, because we could have potentially just set up an Agility on Mega Pidgeot if he did in fact live the Heat Wave. We had a decent chance to. But it's not that big of a deal. We go for T-Bolt, get rid of the Cuff of Grease. He goes into Mega Pidgeot. I don't want to get crit on Licky Licky, because at this point I honestly want to Licky Licky to continue to 1v1 this later. So we're just going to sack Thunderous here. He's going to go down to a Hurricane. And in comes my Scarf Medicham. I know I'm just immediately revealing I'm Scarfed, but I don't really care, because even if he knows I'm Scarfed, not much he can really do about it at this point. I can just go for the high jump kick. Here, I made a play that I thought was necessary. I double into Primarina on the Torkoal instead of just high jump kicking again, because if I high jump kicked again, he goes into Victory Bell, is most likely guaranteed to live a high jump kick, unless I crit him or something. And then he sets up a growth for free, and then he could pretend. And I know I still have a Sash Needle King in the back, but if for some reason he has Sleep Powder, it could just be a very messy situation, so I didn't want to risk it. I go straight into Primarina. I do this because I can take any hit from Torkoal. That Solar Beam didn't even do 30%. And we go for Ice Beam. Casey just wanted to go Victory Bell. He doesn't. He goes Victory Bell. I know I can. Oh, I'm max special attack modest. I know I can do a crap ton of damage to this thing with Ice Beam, if not kill it. So I'm not going to swap out. He's going to go for the growth. It's his best chance to win if he does live this Ice Beam. But he does not live the Ice Beam. He knocked out the Victory Bell. His last Pokemon is a Mega Pidgeot. We are in a Soul Vest Primarina. He goes for the Hurricane. We live, gets the confusion, but we break out, hit that thing with an Ice Beam, and that is good game to Bronson and the Portland Poliwags.
LOL, GG, easy.
We really needed that win, I'm not going to lie. It did a lot to boost my morale, and it showed me that I do think I belong here in Kuna. I think I belong in the Hive. I really do know that I can match up well against these people and show what I can do. My team may not be the best team out there, but it's my team. I love my team, and we're going to continue to show why I do believe I can do very well in the Hive. We are now 1-1 +2, and next week we take on. Second. We take on the Miami Heat more, who is coached by. Okay, well, for some reason the schedule's not opening up, but we take on the Miami Heat more, I believe, and that'll be a fun game. Another threatening team, but we will do our best to take that on. And thank you all for watching. This has been Ian. We are the Pittsburgh Steelers, and peace out.